We're all on video now. All right, so let's talk about what you would write as a thesis for this question. What are some examples or ideas? Yeli.
Okay, I got, although both Han, China, and the Roman Empire support technology for their empire, they both have very different views about who constructs the technology and technology.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to give you a high five for that, Yeli. Good job, girl. So she used the although formula, right? So everybody should start off with the although. And then she gave us our two civilizations, right? Rome, and she filled in the other blank with Han. And then she also talked about specifically the technology aspect, right? Because you have to tell me how they feel about technology. So she said that they both liked using technology for their empire. What else do you guys have for similarities? Gabby?
I wrote that they are both pro-technology, but they differ in how it's being used, like she said. And in Han China, they advance technology more for the people because of Confucianism and the mandate of heaven. And in Rome, the advance of technology is more for the upper class, and they don't believe that commoners really need it.
Okay, so she talked about how it's developed a little bit differently. Yeli kind of hit on that as well. Any other ideas that you guys had for this? No, that's it? Those are all the ideas. Yeah, Brandon says yes. Okay, let me grab a cheat sheet for a second to see what I have written down here. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys. I was updating my iPhone this morning. I should have read over this instead. It's true. I know. I'm just looking at. Yep. Hey, what's up, Patrick McKnight? Who else is absent today? Oh. Justin Lopez, this is for you.
Start singing.
All right. So awkward. Okay, so we need to make sure that we address that they both like technology, right? So that's a good similarity. Everybody's kind of in agreement on that. Yes, is that what you all put down? So although Rome and Han both utilize technology, or both like utilizing technology, what else? What did you say specifically, Gabby?
Both are pro-technology.
Okay, and Yeli, what did you say specifically?
I put support technology.
Okay, I like the support. Although Rome and Han both support new technology or something along those lines, or the development of technology. Let's say that. That sounds fancier. Support. The development of technology. Y'all, I'm a mess today, apparently. Support the development of technology. All right, and then what do you want to say for the difference? Yes, ma'am.
It was different in how it was being used, like who it was being used for.
Okay, is that an attitude towards technology? That's like the utilization of technology. So let's, Electra?
They have different views on who gets the credit for it and why it's important.
Okay, we can take that as well. That sounds good. So, they differ in who is credited for the work. And what was your last thing you said, Electra?
Why it's important. Like
What do you mean by that?
the times like kind of work together and the women just kind of say, oh, we're
Okay, can somebody give me another wording? What are some of the groups? Look at your groups. That'll help you, Connor.
The Hans were kind of considered, like, they considered how useful the technology was, and Romans didn't really, like, they just did it for, like, the looks.
Yeah, but they also had very functional technology. Remember, they were hyping how functional it was. Let me see.
I put also downgrading whoever constructs it.
Okay. So we've got, although Rome and Han both support the development of technology, they differ in who is credited for the work, and something about, like, I like that who is, the credited relates to the downgrading. Who is credited for the work, and, well, maybe we can make another similarity. Support the development of technology and how it is being utilized throughout their empire, and the utilization throughout their empire, and then they differ in who is being credited for the work. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Development of technology and the utilization of technology throughout the empire. All right, I think I like that better. So, although Rome and Han both support the development of technology and the utilization of technology throughout the empire, they differ in who is credited for the work. Are you guys okay with that? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk specifically about how you earn your points on the DBQ, and then we'll start breaking down what these paragraphs would look like. So let me pull up a rubric for you guys.
Are you going to write this essay?
Yes, you are writing this essay sometime.
Oh, I'm just writing that down.
I'll pull it back up in a sec. You're either writing this essay on Monday or on Tuesday. It depends on what I get done today. That's why I haven't given you your homework yet. All right, so the way you earn points, you have to have an acceptable thesis. So right off the bat, I've already given you your thesis. We've decided it's good to go. You guys can use that when you write this actual essay. I will put it back up for those of you who are just trying to copy it down, okay? But you can use that until you automatically get your 1 point. This is going to be the same as your compare and contrast essay where there's 7 basic points. So if you write the essay, I'm giving you a 30 right off the bat, and each rubric point gives you 10. Okay? So your thesis gives you a point. Next is understands the basic meaning of the documents. With this one, you know how on the front page it said you have to use all of the documents? You have to address all the documents, okay, somewhere in your essay, whether it be mentioning them in a group or you mention them specifically in a body paragraph, but you have to talk about all of them. And you have to make sure you're saying how you understand them, okay? You're using them properly, so you get what they mean. That gives you a point. Next, kind of goes hand in hand with this one, you support the thesis with appropriate evidence from all the documents. So you're not just saying that document 1 is a Han official talking about water construction, right, because you're just saying you understand it. But then you're proving to me that the government is the one creating the technology in Han China. Okay? Do you see the difference there between just understanding it and then you're proving your thesis statement and who created it? You're saying the government is the one creating it. Okay? So that's supporting them with evidence. Next is addressing the point of view. The point of view is, oh, dang it. There we go. The point of view is telling me why the document has the opinion that it has. Okay, so you remember yesterday we were talking about why these people are saying what they're saying. What were some of the reasons why some of the Han officials were saying what they were saying? Connor?
The Confucianism.
Confucianism. Okay, as soon as you start tying in that Confucianism stuff, now you're giving me your point of view. Okay? You guys understand what that means? If you just talk about, like, document 1 is talking positively about the water construction, that's not enough. You have to tell me why he's saying what he's saying. Well, because of Confucianism and blah, 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 government officials want to be benevolent towards the people. Yes, ma'am?
If we talk about the mandate of heaven, would that also count or no? Or is it just
Well, most of them aren't emperors, they're just government officials. So you could mention mandate of heaven, but don't constantly mention it.
Okay.
Talk more about Confucianism.
'Cause I was going to say something like they're there to help the people because of the mandate of heaven because they don't want to be them.
Yeah, you can mention that. You could definitely mention that, but stick to Confucianism more. Next is your grouping. That's what you guys did for homework last night, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then finally is your additional document, which you also did, and we will talk about that in a second. And then over here is all of your extra credit, how you can earn extra credit points. Have a BEAST thesis, super analysis of the docs. You really use your documents as evidence. You analyze all the point of view in all the documents. You have tons of different groups, and we'll talk about what that looks like. You bring in lots of outside evidence and not just stuff that you found in the documents, but you know extra stuff about Rome and Han technology. Or you mention more than one additional document that is valid. Okay? So this earns you your 100. This is how you can get up to your 120. So your basic 7 points, and this earns you up to a 9. You guys understand how this is graded? Okay. Let's go back here. That's not the one I wanted. For those of you who need to finish copying, get it real quick. Then we're going to talk about our groupings and what groups should look like. No journal today. We're just skipping. We need to get right into this stuff. So we're going to talk about how you guys clustered up the documents and what those groups look like. You're going to use those groups as your body paragraph like topics. You understand what I'm saying there? So you have 3 groups. You have to always have 3 groups in your essays. Okay? So you need to find 3 types of way of categorizing them. And then use those 3 as your 3 body paragraphs. Are we good? Can I skip off of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? All right, so let's talk about what groupings look like. All right. What are some groups you guys used? What are some groups you used for this? Yes, ma'am. I like government officials.
Yeah.
Okay. So government officials' attitude towards technology. What documents would we put under the government officials? Give me the names of the documents. Doc 1. Okay, what else? 2. What else?
4
4.
and 8.
4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8.
I was going to say some of these other ones. 7 we could either put in or not. Okay, a little side note about groupings. You can never have a group where it's just one document by itself. That's not a group, that's just a document by itself. Okay, so if I was to group you guys up in class, and then I say Brandon is all by himself, okay, Brandon would not be in a group, right? Brandon would be alone crying. Okay, so you can never leave a document alone, because if you do, that's Brandon sitting alone crying. So remember that. Okay, and how you don't want to make a document cry, so you need to make sure that it's included and it has friends. Okay, so we're going to be all inclusive and make sure Brandon has friends when we group. Okay? Good job. So what are some other groupings? Yelly?
The ones who supported technology by Confucianism.
Okay, so like Confucianist ideals. What documents would you throw in